Hello, and welcome to another edition of COVID Stories, where we will talk today with Corinna Summers. She's a Senior Administrative Officer with the Engineering and Environmental Services Department. She will share her story of how COVID, the coronavirus pandemic, has impacted her life, specifically how it has impacted her job with the Triangle Wastewater Treatment Plant, which is the utilities division of the Engineering and Environmental Services Department. Corinna, how are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Good. I'm so glad you're here. Tell us a little bit about you and your job here with Durham County government.
Well, I've been with Durham County for 12 years now,
Okay.
and the entire 12 years I've been with the Utilities Division, so I've seen it grow and expand over the years. What we provide services to our public for clean water. We provide reclaimed water to the town of Cary and other industries, so they water their lawns and ball fields with the reclaimed water. We have a huge environmental impact when it comes to making sure that our wastewater is processed and under our permitting laws. And we also have a small water system in Rougemont, North Carolina.
Okay, that's interesting. I'm sure a lot of people, well, I guess the general population doesn't really know what they're seeing when they're traveling right past the Triangle Wastewater Treatment Plant. Where is it located?
We're on Highway 55 at the intersection of 55 and TW Alexander, and we're also located right beside one of the Durham County Convenience Centers.
Yes, and it's a very interesting place. I've had the opportunity to come several times when we were actively hosting our neighborhood college program, which we hope will come back on board once we stabilize things more with COVID and the coronavirus pandemic. I had the opportunity to come out there several times and receive a tour of the facility. So prior to the coronavirus pandemic, did you all allow the public to come in to tour your facility? And if they were able to, what type of stuff would they see when they were there?
We did provide several tours actually over the years. A lot of school groups, college groups that are working on environmental degrees, even science degrees, biological degrees, and the younger children, they get to learn what happens after you flush.
Yeah.
So there's actually a lot of really cool things that happen within the process of treating wastewater. A lot of people don't think about it, you know, once they flush, it's down the drain, and but all of that comes to us, and we process it. The scientific part of it is very cool to actually get to see all of that and learn about the whole entire process and what the end result is. So I feel like providing that service and the tours, as long as we didn't have any construction going on, that we always provided tours like that, try to have groups come in.
Yeah, you're right. A lot of people don't think about it. It's kind of like the trash. You don't really think about it until it stays on your curb. And if it stayed in your toilet, or you knew what happened if you all weren't doing the job you were doing, and how important it was to really keep our community safe during that time. A lot of people don't even really think about the type of pathogens and things like that that are in the water and what you all are doing to treat it, so that we keep our community and other communities around us that we serve safe. So tell me how the coronavirus pandemic has impacted particularly your job responsibilities, or what has happened at the Triangle Wastewater Treatment Plant.
A lot has actually happened for the Utilities Division over the year. Because of social distancing and not being able to meet with contractors and provide a face-to-face service, even inspections. A lot of the aspects that we work in conjunction with the city on economic development, we've had to incorporate a lot of software and new programs that our project management team has had to initiate, and part of the initiation of getting those implemented is going through all the approvals and the contracts and setting up these programs and making sure that IT is good with them too and approving them. So we've implemented several new softwares and programs. Also working from home, I know a lot of us have had to deal with that change, and kind of mold ourselves into being able to still work as effectively from home as we do in the office.
Which is very difficult.
Yes,
no matter
it
what your
is.
situation is at home, it can be very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like it might have been challenging somewhat for you.
A little bit. I think one of the other programs that we actually implemented was our QuickBooks, which we do all of our billings from for our utility bills and also our industry billings. We upgraded to the cloud version or the online version of QuickBooks as well, so we could still, all of us could still access that from home as well. So that's important. We still got to get our bills out.
Right.
One of the biggest challenges that I have faced, and it was actually surprising to me, was my organization in transferring all of my work from one place to the other.
You mean like your organization skills?
Right.
Okay.
I'm very, very organized, but it was a challenge to make sure that I was still organized when bringing my work home and then taking it back to the office, making sure nothing got lost in the cracks and things like that. So I think one of my biggest successes with making sure that I stayed organized was color coding my files and really utilizing my planner and being more detailed with my to-do lists and my daily tasks actually.
Yeah, so it sounds like you already had a plan in place, but you had to make some adjustments. And a lot of people across our organization, they, like you said, went home to work from home, and there are some people who need to stay in office. At the Triangle Wastewater Treatment Plant or Utilities Division, did you all ever stop what you all were doing, or what was was there a pause in services?
There was no pause in services. We're 24/7, 365 days a year. What we did change to ensure staff safety, and we have certified staff, and we're a very small group of individuals that run the utilities division and all of the services that we provide. So we changed our schedule.
Okay.
All of maintenance, there's never more than 2 people in at a time. Our operations went on a 12-hour schedule as well. The administration office, I changed the hours to where we still are open and are able to take customer calls, and of course there's complaints too, and we have to know about sewer overflows. So we changed that schedule up to where it would allow us to also have those work from home days, but the office is still covered every day.
Yeah. So how do you feel like you have adapted to that adjustment?
I think we adapted pretty well only because we didn't have to stop. We didn't have to be like, okay, we're on a pause, now we have to get back into it. We just continued on and made everything work. And I think just one of the biggest frustrations, or one of the biggest things that we had to adjust to, was all of the implementation of the new systems to use. And that was like, you had to do it it had to be quick, it had to be now, because a lot of the stuff the city was already using. So it was like a rush for us to implement it in order for us to continue those services on the economic development side, for sure. Because construction didn't stop either.
Right. So you all had to be efficient, continue to do your job, and sound like you done it well. So what do you want residents to know about the day-to-day experience at the Utilities Division, and maybe how what you all do day-to-day impacts their life?
Well, we're there every day behind the scenes and making sure that their water and their sewer is still processed, and they have clean drinking water and it's still running,
Right. And that's something important.
That is something important.
I mean, that's been drinking water has been a conversation all across, our nation,
and clean waterways.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's really important. And again, until your water is not clean, or or there is some type of issue, you don't always think about it. So I mean, definitely, I know. Thank you and your team for what you all do at your division to make sure what the water I drink and I'm exposed to is safe. I really appreciate it.
I think one of the biggest things that I would want residents to know is how prideful we are in being able to provide those services and provide them well, and just the environmental impacts, the environmental protection impacts that we have, that we take great pride in.
Yeah, you all take it really seriously and award-winning, I'm sure. And again, such a big impact on our community. And really, whenever people think about organizations have put themselves in technically harm's way to keep us safe during the pandemic, you all definitely have been one of those. Because like I referred to earlier, I didn't realize until like some discussions that were happening within our organization about the pathogens that are in the water and what the cleansing process looks like, and how it can't stop. I mean, it has to keep going. It's a part of the safe environment and well-being we provide to our community. And again, thank you all so much for that. Is there anything else you want to share about the experience during pandemic, like something like an experience that just was, that you remember so concretely during this time, or anything else that you want to share with us about your experience during this period?
I think on a personal side, the no travel policy was a big impact for me.
Let's talk about that a little bit so
Okay.
people know. So within our organization, we have some policies and procedures that are in place to keep us safe, and
Right.
and reporting process for when we do travel, or we're asked to not travel, but you're told these are the parameters and
Right.
what's expected of you around traveling during this time period.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you all institute something specific with your department that you're referring to, or you're talking about that general framework?
Just the general framework, the Durham County policies.
Yeah.
And it's not that I couldn't travel, but I didn't want to take the chance.
Yeah.
It's just me and my senior staff assistant
Mm-hmm.
that runs all of the admin office and everything that pertains to that. So I just didn't want to take the chance. And all of my family is in West Virginia. So
Okay.
I've been here for many years, so I really rely heavily on my friends and my family, as I call them,
Yeah.
that I've made over the years here. So the big impact there was I had to get better about communicating on the phone or FaceTime. I've never been a phone person, but that's actually strengthened my relationships with my family back home. So that there is a positive light to that. And I think one of the other things that was really eye-opening is how we take advantage of those small moments, like meeting a friend after work for dinner, and then all of a sudden that stopped and we couldn't do that. And quality time for me that's how I fill my well with my friends and my family. So that had a huge impact on me.
Yeah.
But now that things are getting back to normal, or somewhat normal,
Yeah, somewhat.
and we can actually go out and do those things and be safe about it in small groups, or just me and another friend, has definitely been good.
Yeah, good for
The
your
spring.
soul. And
Yes,
yeah, you're right,
absolutely.
coming along with the spring, and hopefully we'll stay in a good place so you have more of those opportunities. So we're wrapping up really soon with this conversation, which has been really great, and I appreciate you shedding light on your experience, your COVID story here at Durham County Government. What has been your biggest takeaway, or what you want final words to leave us with regarding either your department or you personally?
Personally, I would say just the quality time and allowing myself, my biggest takeaway has been allowing myself to slow down and take advantage of those small moments when they present themselves, kind of like stop and smelling the roses, right?
Yeah.
Because before, I feel like I had an issue with I'm too busy, and it's really made me stop and consider that, tomorrow is not promised. And I've seen a lot of struggles throughout the year with my friends, family too, and personally. So it's definitely eye-opening, and that's my biggest takeaway, is just really take advantage of all of those little moments that we possibly can.
Yeah, we have to appreciate the time, and then also share that we appreciate our coworkers. We're coworkers,
Right.
and I'm thankful again for the work that you all do and making sure that our community stays safe. And because I'm a part of this community, thank you for keeping me and my family safe. I appreciate it, and thank you again for your time and sharing your COVID story. Where you are our third interview. We have one more left during the COVID story series for National County Government Month. Thank you for being one of our guests, and
Thank you for having me.
you're welcome. I look forward to connecting with you and maybe, having more of these intimate opportunities to talk, because you don't want to take these for granted. These are really special times. And
absolutely.
Hadn't seen each other in a year, and I was so excited to see you the other day, you know? So not taking those things for granted. So thank you again, Corinna.
Sure, thank you, Dawn.
You're welcome.